St. Josaphat, which many of us probably don't know much about, was I believe it was 16th century bishop, but he was in the Eastern Rite Church, and he was greatly responsible for the uniting of that church with the Roman Catholic Church. Those who are opposed to that union are the ones who were the cause of his death, and he became a martyr. What are you doing today to bring about unity in the church? Or are you causing division? Christ calls us to be one, as he and the Father are one. So what are we doing to make the church one? Too often we allow our political views, our differences, to bring division among us. Satan is happy. His work is being made easy. Destroy the church. These humans that have been placed in such a high place, that God himself in the person of Jesus Christ took on flesh, became one of us, and all the angels are called to guard us, to protect us, to guide us. We, the human being, how dare God love us? And so Satan's work is being done because we are destroying that church, that mystical body of Christ, by bringing about more and more division. I don't remember what year it was. I'm going to say 1975. I know some of you wonder, was there such a year? But yes, there was. I was working for a financial institution back in my home state in Ohio. And one day at work, now this has nothing to do with the church. I was not a priest. I wasn't in the process of becoming a priest. I was a financial manager. And I told my boss, who was a Christian, and all the other workers, this has to stop. And he looked at me like, what? This constant dividing of the church, the people of God. We're fighting among ourselves, causing division. That is the work of Satan. We're called to bring unity, as did St. Josaphat, among the people of God. But oftentimes our attitudes, our sensitivity, our pride, our jealousies causes division after division after division. I believe when I was in seminary, I heard that in the United States, every year, another couple thousand new, quote, end quote, non-denominational churches are opened, none of which get along. None of them are all teaching the values that Christ passed on to us. They don't believe in his presence. They believe in their interpretation. Pick and choose. I may not know everything. I may not understand everything that Christ has said. And I might find it difficult to do much of what Christ tells us to do. But I am still called to do it. I'm still called to live that life because I call myself a Christian, a follower of Christ. Yes, we all have free will. We all have to make decisions. But like those 9 lepers, we can just go through life and ignore the graces that God has given us as if it doesn't matter. We're living good, yes. We've been given sacraments. Spent the last hour or so in reconciliation, people seeking God's forgiveness. Father is in there now because people are seeking God's forgiveness. They want to show gratitude for the mercy of Jesus Christ, who dies on the cross, not for them, not for us, but for me. Because of my sins, he dies on that cross. So I gather with you to give thanks, to worship the God who loves me in spite of my sinfulness, in spite of the times that I've rejected God by my actions or words. And so we gather together to celebrate today. Jesus is there wanting to heal all of us. Every one of us. Sometimes we may think we have committed sins that are unforgivable. There is no such sin. He gave his life for you. He asks you to seek forgiveness, to accept God's mercy, and to share his love with the rest of the world. I told a few people this in confession, so I'll share it with you. Do with it what you want. I've been at my parish at St. Thomas More. It'll be 10 years next month. Every child that's gone to school there over the last 10 years, if any of them were sitting in here right now, they would know the response. I told them how difficult it is sometimes in the world today to see Christ in other people who disagree with you, who don't vote the way you vote, don't worship the way you worship, don't like what you like. It's hard to see Christ in them when they do things that you know are wrong and sinful and are against God, or they ignore God, disown God altogether. It is hard to see Christ in those people. But seeing Christ in them is exactly what we're called to do. So I tell them, if you don't see Christ, be Christ. The world needs to see Christ in us. So perhaps, if you forget everything else I've said, just remember, if you don't see Christ, be Christ. That's our challenge. And in doing so, we bring about unity and not division. So perhaps today, when you're struggling with your brother or sister, your husband or wife, your parents or your children, your neighbor or a stranger, that you will remember, if you don't see Christ,